All right, all right, all right. Welcome in to a test pilot episode of Junk Mail. Today, I am attempting to use StreamYard. Don't know why I chose to use StreamYard, but I subscribed to it. I forgot that I subscribed to said platform. And as we all know, I'm being charged for it. So, with that being said, uh, today is the day we get to reserve for what I would classify uh, UBBM. UBBM is bulk mail or bulk materials that we at the post office might not have very much use for, but the customers themselves can find a great juicy bit. An example of that might be a coupon that you like. And so, with the hopes that you might like this particular breaking news edition here, we are going to attempt to analyze what I would classify a double standard to creating a broken home. By that, I mean uh, if a man is to plant his seed in multiple places and not attempt to establish a bond with the original person that he's created children with, uh, oftentimes it is not seen as a boon or a blessing to the society that we live in, nor is a situation where a married man is allowed to not technically or legally leave their marriage, but yet just decide to not be together and foster children outside of said relationship. It is going to be classified as egregious jihanda. Nobody will stand for it in terms of the way in which it will be accepted in a societal aspect. And so today we look at how sports dissects, or I should say, intersects with drama. And we're going to go ahead and try to break down Cardi B and one New England Patriot receiver, Stephon Diggs, recent gossip, as I call it, but it's news that people can use. They are expecting a child. So what we will attempt to do today is go ahead, look at some of the press and some of the review from the general public in terms of what they think about a married woman uh, traversing the waters of separation and what is the word I'm looking for here? Procreation. There we go. As my man's want to say, we're going to bring it to you courtesy of, let me get it tonight, Entertainment Tonight. I want to make sure I got that right for you. And we are navigating this system newly, everybody. So please bear with me as we try to move on in. And let's see if we get to where we need to be. All right, all right, and all right. So let's get this full screen for you. Listen in, and let's hear what the news is about.
Well, yes, I am. I'm having a baby with my boyfriend, Stephon Diggs.
Cardi
Team
B
Miles, what's going on? We're
pregnant,
going
expecting baby number 4.
before we get
What
into
does it
it.
mean to be a
How
mother?
you feeling?
It means everything. It's like a feeling that it's undescribable. It's like love, joy. It's a switch.
And that switch just got cranked up a notch.
Coming to you from
Cardi revealing the
Hogwarts
happy news to
School of
CBS
Journalism.
Mornings anchor Gail King.
I'm excited. I'm happy. I feel like I'm in a good space. I feel very strong. I feel very powerful that I'm doing all this work, but I'm doing all this work while I'm creating a baby. Me and my man, we're very supportive of each other. We're like in the same space in our careers. Me and him think the same way. Like, it's like, yeah, we're one of the greatest, but what's next? What we doing again? We do it again. We have to do it again all the time. It's not like we're never like comfortable. We just want to keep doing it.
I love everything about motherhood. It's a new experience for me because it's like I'm up all night, I'm sucking her boogers, I'm making sure that she's breathing, I'm making sure that she don't suck on the pacifier and the nose and the stuffiness at the same time. It's a lot, but I love everything.
The 32-year-old rapper became a mom in 2018 when she and her now ex-husband Offset welcomed their daughter Culture.
I feel very happy. I feel like I want to work. I don't know, I feel very energetic to keep on going. Like, powerful, like a woman.
The former couple went on to have 2 more kids, son Wave and daughter Blossom. But their romance fizzled, and Cardi found love again with the NFL wide receiver.
So, Cardi, 3 kids with husband Offset. That's a good recap for us, right? Totally ecstatic with the idea of motherhood and absolutely in love with another man. So as she sits here on this couch, she has the audacity not only to make said pregnancy an actuality, because you are indeed still legally married. So G Honda, like you say, the harlotry is real. Yet, and still, you are able to do so and flaunt it publicly as a promotion. And so my first question would be, I guess, how is it that society at large is not throwing stones? And the proverbial stone, I mean, because I want to ask, has anybody as of yet seen very much negative publicity about this particular announcement? We're going to finish it out real quick, but I want to know, has anybody heard any negative situations come about for one Cardi B in terms of her being a married woman with children and not by her husband? Let's go.
There's a song called Safe.
Yeah,
Is he somebody that makes you feel safe?
very safe.
The rapper's got a lot to celebrate these days. Her second album, Am I the Drama, drops Friday.
Creek. We gotta, I don't know how we can get
Cardi,
get that
we
done.
hope you got around to telling your folks your big baby news.
I haven't even told my parents.
No way, Cardi.
I haven't told my parents. They just be looking at me like,
whoa,
Cardi.
whoa, 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 and whoa. Did this chick say not only do you have a baby out of wedlock, Cree, but you got it with a guy that has high visibility by him being an NFL wide receiver and a known guy that in NFL locker rooms, it is said, and I quote, the guy you would not want your sister to date. Everybody in the Minnesota Vikings locker room at the time voted for Stephon Diggs to be the guy that you do not want
Wait. Back up. Why haven't you told them?
because
I'm scared of
your
them.
sister
I'm very scared of
to date. And so, first, you do that. Secondly, you come into the context of not even, how can I put it, having the common courtesy as a human being to go ahead and announce this news to people that would matter to you most. How dare you not tell mom and them, as somebody might say, that you done went out and made a whole ass baby with somebody that is your boyfriend, and I don't even know if he should be a Subaru. He should be like a G.O. Metro, right, Gregory? But I digress. It is absolutely crazy that somebody can be married to someone of a celebrity, no less. So they got notoriety and camera spotlights just as well. Go out and choose a opportunity to date someone. Well, I mean, bro, T Miles, what did I just say? Everybody said the person that you would least like to date your sister is Stephon Diggs. Why would they not want him to date their sister? Because he's a dirtbag. A dirtbag will go out there and get anything. Why would either want it? And secondly, why would any one of them want somebody who got the sordid past that Cardi has to begin with? But you know, we'll see. Okay, and Cree, that goes into the emotion. You said that she leave a cheater for a bigger cheater. That goes down the rabbit hole of her going with her emotions based solely on those things as opposed to her responsibilities as a wife and mother. You chose to accept the person that you accepted, and yes, so you don't even uphold the agreement that you had with the said person, and yet, like you said, you go out and not only leave a cheater for a cheater, you yourself are a cheater, and you have created what most women would try to uh, hold a man over the barrel for, which is creating a baby outside of their marriage. So whether they're on good terms or not, I don't see how you even think that it's appropriate for you to be able to move that way. But I don't think she should be able to move that way. What do you guys think? And we're gonna go ahead and listen to a reaction from a Tia Kemp. Not sure that I know who she is, and so maybe I might go down the rabbit holes one day. But we're gonna listen to a reaction from her because when a person like Papoose separated from Remy Ma and is still married, and he deals with an athlete by the name of Clarissa Shields, a lot of people, I won't even get into the genders, would have a monumental reaction or feel some type of way to him dealing with somebody while he's married, let alone if he got her pregnant. And they have discussed having a family, but he is attempting to try to get a divorce. And yet people would castigate him in a way that says he is being a dog, he not right, he this, that, and the third. But I'm assuming Tia Kemp got motion on social media. So if she don't and she's larger than social media, let's go ahead and listen to what she has said already. We're gonna try to zoom right into her particular diatribe. Give me a moment.
So you need a passport.
Well, hey, if he get what he desires in terms of they whole you did, then yeah, he did upgrade. He didn't downgrade so far. And why we back here? Oh, I'm tripping. That's me, y'all. Don't worry about me. Pap out there on the red carpet, for premieres and everything like that, and ain't got no worries. Got somebody ready to go out there and do it. And so in that regard, I'm elated that he would even think to go ahead and be public with his situation because he public with the fact that he don't want to be with her. Cardi and her husband have these back and forth social media engagements. And so my first thing be with things like that, just like people will question with Pap and Clarissa, like how those things affect the children, because they get to see their mother and father go back and forth or see the situation unfold for themselves. And those things right there kind of create a different avenue for the children to have to navigate in terms of their day-to-day lives in school and everything else because their parents are under the spotlight. And so that right there is in somewhat of what I would like to classify a reasonable, for lack of a better term, or less chaotic situation that arises in terms of how you can explain away certain things. But when it comes down to the way in which this situation is, both of them, publicly married. I've never heard much about them trying to be divorced, and if they are, let me know. But right now, you are with child by another man. Let's see what somebody from the opposite sex thinks about this. Let's go.
By the way, now that I talked about it, y'all better get my album. Y'all wanted to know, right? Now.
Didn't I tell y'all that was the part of the title of the
It's
album?
not Mad TV, by the way.
I told y'all that, right? I was like, y'all don't get it. It's a part of the. That's why the label allowed the title of that album. Am I the drama? Because they're trying to figure out. Okay,
If
now
anybody know who
who's the
Tia
drama?
Kemp is in the chat, let me know.
Or him. But Cardi, you did good. I don't care what they say. Oh well, you had a baby from another old tricky dog. But he looked better than that ex-husband of yours. He finer. You go have all the mini chair you want.
He's
But
fine.
we all know when
He
you be
look
pregnant,
better.
girl, we be knowing you go to wear them old big old skirts that get wide as I don't know where you be eating all that hot sauce and the seaweed, all that stuff, the crabs, all that on. I be like, oh, there she go. It's in her. It's up in her.
Oh, this Rick Ross baby mama. And she talking about somebody look better. She look fried.
But this the thing. I already knew.
Do she got a body or something?
But I'm gonna say this to the girls
I'm gonna have to
that's
look her
over
up
there. They
one day.
saying the other girls that's pregnant by your baby dad.
I ain't seen it.
I feel for them because you already know the chosen one gonna be the chosen one, whether you leave them or not. You get what I'm saying? You caught it, B. You know what I'm saying? Them hoes ain't you. Just like I'm Yanti. Them hoes could go do it. They ain't
somebody ready to shoot.
You got me. Shit.
So somebody ready to shoot up the club, and I ain't heard nothing that, like, Steph barely acknowledged it today in a clip I saw where I know he was kind of being tongue-in-cheek and joking, but he, basically was like, what, baby, my business, like, who y'all in my business, like, stay out my personal life. But he wasn't as ecstatic or as public as you about trying to make this happen. He got to be in the locker room every day. And people talk. Let's see if they, question their teammates' character. Because like I said, there's a lot of people who don't want her out there. But at the same time, this thing right here, let's find out why she think her, Cardi, or anybody like that move like she moving is out here being a catch.
I'll do that work when you still married. These niggas are doing these niggas. You know how many niggas went and had babies out here on their marriage? So what? She gotta get back. Nah, good. Nah, I hope it's a boy so they could put him on the field. I really do. I hope it's a boy so they can put him on.
To Pitbull, DJ Khaled.
You hear this motherfucker? I'm gonna have to cut that out. That one ain't. Did you hear what she just had the nerve to say? Let's get back. She hope.
And him and Wave in the daddy way matching braids. That's how you do a bitch. You've been doing you dirty for years. You get what I'm saying?
That's how you do somebody doing you dirty for years.
That's all. Especially when you in position to.
Oh, so if you can thought it out.
So I ain't mad at him. But you are the drama. We will be getting that fucking album in another what the day is? 2 more days? 1 more day?
Got that.
Put him on the field.
That might be Rick Ross' baby mom when he was a CEO. That might be his first baby mom.
Don't put him in those skinny leather pants. Don't put him in no leather bell bottoms. Put him on the field. Put him on the field. Shit. Nah, that's how you get your niggas back.
Nah, this something you can get some get back. And it's perfectly okay by her metric. I wasn't at liberty to see the comments to see who necessarily agrees with this tomfoolery, if you even want to call it that. But not only are you touting and giving her a platform to be nothing but a harlot, you actually hoping that she can gain some more success from it by having their offspring be a NFL superstar or a player or whatever the context in which you want to look at it. Trying to prop up one scumbag and emasculate the other. Because make no mistake, we not sticking up for Offset or Steph, because I told you Stephon Diggs is not who Daddy wants you to bring home, and that's evidenced by his teammates. What I do know about most guys, especially any of them that got any merit or character, you know what a NAN is, and that's a nothing RS ninja. You understand? So you can identify those very clearly and quickly. And if you try to give out sage advice, or if somebody you don't want your daughter to bring home, that in itself is usually very apparent, even when you try to be cunning and slick with it. But for this one right here to be, I guess, displaying hyena-like tendencies, for lack of a better term, I dare you not only accept what Cardi or how she's moving, but you champion it like it's a payback for all of the suffering that the group has done, as opposed to anything that you have suffered allegedly. And if so, I didn't hear Creeky say you was Rick Ross' ex-wife. I heard her say, my apologies, baby mama. Let's keep listening.
Motherfucker, go one of their favorite athletes or something. They better be glad I ain't young, and here's what I'm is now. I be doing the most too. I be doing the fucking mosty too.
So she'll be doing the most. She'll be out here thotting it away if she can still get that old box away. But what she's telling you is, and look at her, she don't appear to be, 50 anything. So she at least in her 40s. And she telling you right now, sitting there in that dusty road with that scarf on, thinking she boss level with them long fingers. And nobody don't want that thing no more. And only Fat Boy Rick wanted her when the opportunity was there.
You got, yeah. And they done stopped that little chop shop shit in a bunch of states. If you know it, or if you know, you know. They done stopped the chop shop shit in a lot of the states. If you know what a chop shop is. Oh.
See, Jalen Green, situations like this should have given you pause to ever go and shoot the club up with trench mob league wide harlot. Yet, not only did you do so, I think you will do so again, because recent footage of Jalen and Drea out and about, and she is basically being aggressive because other chicks want him. It's treacherous to say the least. If he not engaging, and you just mad because they like him. Two, the mere fact that he's still only a year younger or older than one of your kids, and you're gonna have another child with him probably, only speak to the further detriment that the double standards of broken families is going to be able to create. Because what Cardi is doing is not necessarily, well, it is what Drea is doing, because you are creating babies now, not only with somebody, and I don't think Drea was ever married, so it's even worse, but you're creating babies, multiples, and we think that the lifestyle that you live, Cardi, is going to propel you to other people wanting you of status in terms of having you as a deep desire for a wife. I don't see Stephon wanting you for anything more than what he wants you for now, which is be on boat parties with him with other girls and having pink party favors floating around. What I will say is, what would be the outcry if, let's say, Stephon Diggs was married and Cardi wasn't, and he got her pregnant, what do we think would be the reaction or the response to, or at least on the majority in terms of society? What do you think would be the response in the comment sections if this man went out and did anything remotely close to what she is attempting to pass off as okay? Because I don't think there would be 4 positive comments for any party. I can't say many people would be in acceptance or put them on a TV show to talk about it. Like, he won't be on ESPN talking about his new baby if he had a wife. So the fact that she is allowed to kind of make a red carpet tour and promote her album, publicize her pregnancy, talk about how she hid it from her parents, and you admitted to the public as a mode of pushing your album sales more than you thought it was important to be forthright and let people know in your own family that you're moving in a way that's totally undesirable and trashy. But we got kids that will grow up. They won't be influential for things like having their hair braided like some other guy as a mockery to their father. They will be old enough to see how these things go on the social media platforms and how the outside world views their mother and how we think it's going to go for them. Like, those types of things in themselves for me kind of give me a total pause, because women who move like this while still married get a pass because, and it's kind of framed like they finding love or they choosing happiness and things like that. Whereas I told you, if the situation was inverse, Steph would be, and I'm gonna see Steph fine, so we can start. So I want people to think I'm talking about Steph Curry. Whole different situation, but we touched base on that before in the video. Check that video out. Travis Hunter and a couple other people checked out on there. Check that one out. Nonetheless, he would be disloyal. He would be a dog, disrespectful, all of the words. Yet a person or a woman like her would be able to get the media and the public sympathy and kind of have that narrative spun where, she was still tied to her husband, still being linked to a professional athlete. So he's a person of note. It's not just like a scrub who nobody knows or what have you. So he is of notoriety. And people will say she's done with Offset cheating, just like this chick just alluded to. She trying to heal. She finding her peace type things. And they give her so many outs on how she should be able to move based on what has happened from previous choices in her life. Yet, like I told you, somebody like Pap linked to Clarissa, immediate backlash, framed as betrayal to Remy, disrespect to his vows, this, that, and the third, and no child has even been formed from said relationship. Yes, they do publicize it because they can't hide it. She is a boxing superstar, being undefeated in her sport. Pap has always had notoriety in the hip hop and lyricist world. So those types of things will always be the opportunities that lead them to being tied into what we classify as sports drama. She is a person of the sports world, as is Stephon Diggs. But these highlight, and Clarissa at times gets a lot of flack for dating Papoose because he's married, because she's a woman. And that's where the double standard comes in for her, in the sense that those two are actually, Pap is attempting to get divorced from what I know. And it's being contested in some ways by the bitter ex-wife or soon to be. Nonetheless, Clarissa is villainized and looked at as being like a home wrecker, and everything that can be negative about her. Why in society the double standard allows Stefan to go ahead, get patted on the back, have it be brought to him in the media at his locker room as a joke or a hee ha ha moment. And those situations can highlight how the media would frame him as a villain, frame her as a victim, and all the while, in both situations, a kid is, caught in the crossfires, because when a woman has a child for another man while still married, the child is still legally presumed to be, that of the husband in certain states. Now, tell me that don't create some sort of legal issue that's going to create financials, and that's obviously going to have me be a bit more emotional than a man should be. But you normally have to take care of a child and act as in terms of the fiscal situations that it is your own because of the state you live in. And I don't know that New York is one of those. I don't know, and I don't know what state they reside in. But if Georgia or New York, any of those states have those laws where he has to legally presume fatherhood, that would absolutely devastate him and put kids in the direct crosshair. Because what type of person Stefan, and he might be the type that's going to be totally okay with this other man putting the bill for your son. And then men, conversely, moving on during marriage, typically face a lot of social backlash, but rarely do people ever discuss those legal or parental complications that happen the same way. It's like he doesn't get any monetary assistance. He won't get any, like, if they get divorced, I don't know that it lessens anything that will be a penalty for Offset. Whether he deserves it or not is not something that is up for discussion for me, but it does give you the opportunity to see exactly how in certain situations, especially something like this, the loyalty standard is something that is a bit different. And by that I mean I'm expected to hold it down no matter what, financially, emotionally, publicly, kind of keep even keel, stoic manner. A real man, as they want to say. I had to use that term because it's thrown around. But you would not be going back and forth with your wife on social media if in fact you classified into that term. So male, man, nonetheless, not the male man. Women are encouraged to do what's best for them by the public. Even if that can break up your family, your marriage, those things have no bearing on what they say. Go ahead and leave, do you, do what make you happy, and all of the types of things like that. So thank you for joining the Postal Game, Keith Vincent. Like this content, go ahead and hit that like button. We have not said that at all throughout the whole content breakdown. Hit that like button, share the content, give me your honest, constructive criticism on how your boy is doing on a breakdown or review of a certain sports situation that can be classified as nice junk mail for the viewers at home that don't necessarily like sports, but love the way sports and daily gossip can kind of overlap, for lack of a better term. And we want to give examples of how, with Pap, he had to built his brand on his loyalty to Remy, the prison visits, everything else. Even so after all of the holding her down, he finally decided to move on. He has met with nothing but backlash and resistance. Yet, the same thing for Cardi. Go ahead, this chick right here on the screen telling you to do you, have no regrets. It's get back, and all of the other, hyperbolic type of things that I don't think will constitute as being a healed person. Let's keep using these buzzwords. But the broader cultural message, I guess we will look at in that, is where accountability is shifted in some capacities based on gender. And so I wonder, oftentimes, are these the things that contribute constantly to the rhetoric, for lack of a better term, in terms of overall proof that the majority of women duck accountability. They're celebrated for their self-love, celebrated for their own decisions, and men are condemned for making similar moves. And if you could give me a pardon for making a similar move, I got to talk to my mother real quick. Real time, when you talk about the faux pas, the mama got a didn't know this that was on, but had to get that feedback from what was going on earlier today. She get checkups. We got to know what's going on in her life, so ain't no confusion. And then the wife sent me a message for what we want for lunch. What do we want for lunch? The world may never know, or they may already know. And you see, we're gonna try to wrap it up into a nice little bow for us while everybody's at work, enjoying the rest of their wrap-up days. If a man, or I should say, if a woman can have a child for another man while still married, and it's excused as sort of empowerment, why is a man crucified for simply dating while still legally married? We don't talk about fairness because that's for judging pigs, pies, and things of that sort. But it does beg the question, why is it morally acceptable on the whole, oftentimes, for situations like this to be accepted when the gender does not suit the male? I want to know your comments below. Let me know anything that you think about this particular situation and more. T Miles, if you are still around and you had any questions about sports drama while we talk about it, my team lost 52-21 to Ty Pro's Detroit Lions. Rather embarrassing, rather humbling, but how can I put it? It's going to hopefully give us some motivation to go out there and turn it around and pick up our bootstraps, because once again, how this world works is if a man gets knocked down, you're supposed to get yourself up and let's go. Mr. Walker would not have it as a player. Gavin X will not have it as a coach. Bears, I need you to go out and act like you have some semblance of being a real one. Please, everybody, if you can, while you are here, go ahead and hit that like button. If you came in late, go ahead and start me over from the beginning for that replay. Let me know any thoughts you have about what we have discussed. I am attempting to garner your interest and your watch time. Caleb is broken. In what way? Go ahead and explain that to me, because Caleb was one of your few bright spots last game. So explain Caleb's overall role in last week's debauchery. I'm curious. I'm real curious, T Miles. Because seriously, 210, 2 tutties, your QB rating went up, your air yards went up. You did take some throws down the field. You wasn't the one false starting. You wasn't one not hitting the hole properly. Where was the overall things that showed you Caleb was broken? Because I saw progress from Caleb. Curious to know. I hope your defense is not broken. That's what I hope, T-Mouth. I pray to sweet baby 6 pound 7 ounce baby Jesus away in the manger. That's 11 people. That's not a Caleb issue. How can you sustain drives with Tell me the matter of fact, besides Joe Tooney, tell me the offensive lineman is playing well right now. Because they vacillate, they go back and forth. Week 1, I'm totally with you that they didn't sustain drives well enough to complement the defense. Last week, you would have basically had to be perfect, and there were opportunities for them to do so. There were situations that probably killed momentum, and I won't tell you that he was perfect by any means, but I can also kind of understand that he had one of the better showings of the team, saying to Rome. Like, I can't even think of the defenders that had any relative good game. I don't know those guys. Those guys don't exist. They didn't show up last week. Offensively, the two guys I told you, Rome and Caleb. DJ moderately involved when he could be. So he wasn't a negative, but not a net positive. I think they got to go ahead and get the tight ends involved. I don't know who that comes down to. I don't want to hear too much more about chipping and not being able to chip and slip. Go ahead and hit that man. Hit that curl right quick or that quick slant. Let Cole or Colston get that. You got alleged matchup nightmares by putting him on linebackers and smaller nickel backs. You have got to get Colston involved. So if that's a Caleb issue, I want that immediately rectified when it comes down to quantifying Caleb or his mentality is being broken. Those things need to happen. But I mean, on the whole, the things that plagued us most in that game just would have really had to allow us to be perfect and better at utilizing people. And I still don't think that Ben has been known to properly utilize everybody yet. And everybody's still learning. This is his actual second game being a head coach. I can't have that be missed upon people. And there is a level of concern. But next week, or maybe even this week, I want to see that we can have a nice video that's going to highlight of the 0-2 teams, T-Miles. Make sure you watch the video of it pop up for you. Which of the 0-2 teams, one, has a better chance to win this week? Two, which one of those teams is in the most doo-doo? Something for you to chew on. So them blocking for helping the line block is definitely Caleb. Solely him. We'll go with it. I won't debate you on it because I can't prove otherwise. I think whose ever deal it is needs to happen. Now, I can't speak to the fact that your coach keeps saying it's him, and then secretly believing that behind the scene he telling Caleb, like, hey, you got to hit the tight end. Like, I'm not going to necessarily fall on that sword, but I won't contest you at all about it because it does give it has its fair share of concern to see whether or not it has some weight to hold, and if it gives you exactly what it is you say. Nonetheless, Sunday afternoon, I do believe we will start slightly later than the normal time because we play the game of the week, 4:25 Eastern Standard Time is when that game will start, T-Miles. And so I do not know right now if I have any Cowboy fans that will be a part of said stream. If I do, I'll let someone know. Nonetheless, we are going to go ahead, turn this over to Ben Johnson in the offense and the Tal Courts in respective states to hope that justice prevails on the field and off. I am going to reserve all judgment on Ben Johnson and his offense in terms of production because they have, and they did put up 21 points last week still, and they have scored on opening drive, scripted or not, twice in consecutive weeks, and that wasn't at all the case last year. Yes, your defense is somewhat banged up, but what I know about that means you need to deploy your personnel in a different way. If the people that you have a plan for are not there, you can't fit square pegs in the round holes. You got to go ahead and adjust on the fly. You already know your personnel, know they do well, so you got to do something different. Maybe Brisker has some credibility when he says you need to go ahead and deploy him in the box to do what Kyler does a lot more, and they trying to protect his protect him above the neck, when in fact he want to go ahead and get in the mix. So I do think they need to see what's on the waiver wire or on their practice squad to bring up, because we always tout ourselves on being so heavily scouted in the secondary, the defensive secondary, oftentimes. And we're gonna find out by Sunday if we've made any adjustments in terms of the roster. We will get to discuss expectations of the game to see if it is a get-right game for the offense and for the team in general. We will be able to discuss some of the things we want to see improve for me, as well as anybody that would like to join the conversation. Mailboxsports3@yahoo.com is the email to go ahead and do that. Also, Cash App, pretty much the same. Hit that $ Mailbox Sports 3. If you want to help donate to the stream, I will hope to learn how to better utilize some overlays and give you some better graphics for the meantime and between time while I use StreamYard. But if ever I don't like it, I will not hesitate to go back to OBS. Just want to get a different feel, and I want to get a little bit of use of my money because, in fact, the check is in the mail. With that being said, hit your boy up on Sunday afternoon. Check me out Friday for the flyer so that we can go ahead and get to what is to be expected week 3 of my beloved Chicago Bears. I hope this junk mail episode has been informative, has go ahead and given us something to hold on to, and I hope that it gives me the opportunity to be able to engage with some sports fans in a different way, in a more recent and more often. So if you got any videos that may be sports related drama, feel free to go ahead and email those to me at mailboxsports3@yahoo.com. T-Mouse say Swift has no vision. Still a serviceable back for me. He does definitely need to get more carries, but I do think that DeAndre popped up on the injury report this week. So that may lend itself in some capacity to Kyle, as did the end of the game. You finally saw Kyle get some carries. He did average, I believe, 4 yards a carry. So that's serviceable. I want to know if he can do that against first string competition. I want to give my offensive line more of an opportunity to learn each other. And we will get the opportunity to see if all of that shit really means something at the end of the day, T-Miles. But until then, we're going to give you the news that you can always use. Tide Pro, we've been discussing the harlot and the wide receiver known as Stephon and Cardi B. Both of them was team doing too much. But in case you don't know, I do got a couple Bear fans that always pull up, and we unfortunately got a chance to talk about what I call a straight debacle, beat down, get right prove it, want to make you look bad game. My counterpart will have a lot more concern about my team than I do at the moment. I'm gonna call it bye week Ben before I give any official panic, if you want to call it that. Because I think by 4 weeks and the bye week, it should give most any team, especially you. Well, Braxton has not been your weak link, and maybe that's because of Joe and whoever they got chipping. I haven't heard too many Braxton Jones calls, and I didn't see most of those on tape. Jonah is definitely alarming at the moment, but like I said, everybody got to learn everybody's tendencies. And I'm going to continue to say that Dahlman has to improve his game in order for the right side to be better equipped, because I don't think they are as strong in terms of the knowledge base as the others. So everybody, though I'm not pleased with, like I said, anybody but Tooney is the only person that right now has what I would call grace with me on the offensive line. At the same time, nobody has condemnation for me to say that they are trash. They playing a bit less than standard than I would like, but nobody is like no, don't. Why would you try to let somebody you a square peg round hole guy, right? Because the team has told you several times that Trapillo can't play left tackle, but you think that's a good idea. You think somebody who can't play left tackle, it's a good idea to go ahead and put him out there. They stopped this in training camp. They stopped letting him practice at that spot. And you're just gonna throw him back out there because you could have said Benedette, and I still think that the right side of your line has been way worse than your left. So I really don't understand the smoke for Braxton even. The obsession for the left tackle to be replaced. Your right tackle is unfortunately more concerning right now. He's a top 10 pick, and he's playing like a 5th rounder. Not to mention, you just traded for a dude and gave him new money, and he playing like a 5th rounder. So I think that we got, again, some misguided vitriol towards, and it's a preconceived or predisposed bias of Braxton Jones. I will not sell you on Braxton Jones being all pro anything, but I was always taught that you get what you pay for. Braxton is a average left tackle. And for a 5th round pick, if you can get a starter, which is a average guy, you did a good job. Now, is he the best starter? No. But in my estimation, through 2 weeks, he is not your glaring problem on your offensive line. If I had to switch somebody out, it would be on your right side. I don't know who we would choose that to be, whether that be Jackson or Wright. But the bull rush, that's fine. I understand all that. What you need to do is have you can bracket that off. Line Cole or Colson up in the gap. That way, the bull rush, in terms of the speed, he already set to the edge. Joe Tooney is capable of being able to close the gap between them on the right-hand side. And if he is able to close the gap on the right-hand side for them, that instantly gives whatever tight end the instance to turn straight around. Turn around. Get the ball. Caleb, drop it off. And that's when I don't know that it's Caleb's fault, Lee Turner. At the point where you wedge your tight end in the gap for him to be your chip, because you realize that the speed rush is what gets Braxton, so his get off may be slow to the outside. What you want to do, in my estimation, is have him already kind of pivoted to that spot. Your extra lineman that can line up off of the line is him, because he won't necessarily be on it, but he'll be in block formation. Cole will be that guy who can chip from the inside and basically have an instant curl or slant or coast and whoever you want. But I don't think that your left tackle is the issue more so than what we have heard in the past. Tony is your left guard. So Tony has already shown you on tape. Check out one of my shorts, how he went from helping out the center straight back over to helping out the left tackle. Instant shift over. Perfect shift. I say a little late, but perfect in terms of the awareness to know who he needed to go help. That timing of the chip by your tight end allows Tony to go ahead and help elsewhere. And now I need this bow the ball need to be gone. Hold up your end, right side, and I got less of a problem. But I think your left side is less of an issue than your right side right now on the whole, not just Joe Tooney. So I think center to right tackle. Right guard has been your largest problem. Right tackle, number 2. After week 1 of giving him no pressures, last week he was a flag, like a flag monster. Let's just talk about it that way. Any way in which he can attract a flag, he did. Lee Turner, I won't tell you that anybody is or isn't. Well, I will tell you some people though that's not. But 2 weeks in, I'll leave everybody the grace to get their teams in order. I understand that you got new things going on. So for me to write you off in 2 weeks, it is alarming that the defense have done the things they've done to better credit what T-Miles says. If we do sustain offensive drives better, which I do think at some point they will be able to do, you'll be able to do so. For example, you are in a situation right now where if you have what we classify as winnable games, Vegas is telling you that and everything else. The first 2 games, you were actual dogs to lose. Now, both of them, I think, were disappointing in the way in which we lost, because I don't think that you should have had a meltdown against Minnesota, nor do I think you should have had the total implosion, but I can understand where the week after having a slow offense that Detroit wanted to really stick it to you and your offensive coordinator to show you that you don't necessarily, you won't be missed. And so a bit disheartening in the way in which they lost. But if you go out and beat Dallas and then you go out and beat Vegas, quiet. You go out and beat Vegas, that's my wife. You instantly understand that they're 2-2 and your storyline and narrative changes. So at that point, it's very hard for me to believe that the team is not a playoff team based on week 2. 1, like I said, I've seen improvement in the quarterback and in some ways the offense, because week 1, the first 15 were very good, and then everything else was stagnant. That will take a lot of pressure off Caleb. But we did see, even with the running game not being so, and let's look at it this way. The running game has not been totally favorable in terms of the eyesight, but it's not been totally counterproductive. Like, we have had an opportunity where I believe we've averaged more than 100 yards a game. The first week, that was a bit more difficult for me to digest because Caleb was the leading rusher. In this instance, it gives me a lot less pause to understand that the offense made a few more first down drives. You did utilize a connection established and show me that Rome is the guy that you're going to be able to feature heavily in the offense. And the latter part of the game with Monangai does give me some inspired hope that we will be able to see him run the ball and mix it in a lot more to give us those tough yards, i.e. those 3rd and 1s that we shouldn't have to sneak twice and fail. It seems Roshan is not a practice squad, but a special teams guy. So, Ben, use the guys at your disposal. Do nothing that would harm your quarterback's development, if we want to look at it that way, week to week. And we will look to expound upon that on the whole when it comes to our Sunday stream. With that being said, we will hold it down because it is time for me to go ahead and have a little bit of lunch, talk a little bit of non-sports for the day, get that out of my system so I can get right back into it. Once again, anybody who got any sports related topics or any sports gossip drama that they want to talk about, please leave those in the email. It may be 3 at Yahoo. What am I talking about? I'm crossing up emails for one. And I'm giving it to you incorrectly. You won't get anywhere. Mailbox Sports 3 at yahoo.com. It tells you I'm hangry. I don't even know what's going on. Any Bears conversation that we might have or questions that we might want to bring up for Sunday stream in terms of the pregame. The pregame will happen. Let's shoot for a 2:00, 2:30. That's the flyer will be out tomorrow. Let's shoot for that. Shoot for reading the flyer. But we will do a pregame followed into a live listening to the first quarter or so of the game. I do appreciate everybody pulling up. Lee Turner, I appreciate your questions. Caleb can be you say a tier 2 quarterback. Well, I guess tier 2, he ain't tier 1. So I know what tier 2 means. I misread that. I agree with you wholeheartedly. We get some running lanes, and I think that comes with a little bit of continuity for the line. Week 2, let them go ahead and get to the bye week before I totally write off what has or has not happened. Certain things are making incremental progress. Certain things have taken steps back, but I do give you the opportunity to make the incremental progress that we need. With that being said, keep the drama coming so that we can discuss things for the non-fan. Keep the drama on the field coming so that we can go ahead and discuss everything that we want to deliver as a postal content creator. With that being said, everybody bear down. I will see you all on Sunday. Check out the release for what time that will start. I am out until next delivery. Appreciate you all. Let's go.